Hey guys, what's going on? This is Sergeant Merrill, and today we're going to be playing a kinda new game that's currently in alpha that I think you guys are going to love. Prepare yourself for this, because this is one of the most brutal first-person shooters I've ever played. And not because of gore or violence, just because it's fucking hard. Like, grip your chest and reach to the sky and ask God why you're putting yourself through this kind of hard.
Why? Why? Why am I playing this?
Yeah, a little bit like that, but only at first. Because after you play this for a little bit, you start to get used to that brutality, and it starts to seem a little bit normal. So what do I mean by brutal? Well, let's take a look. What in the fuck? I'm dead.
Why?
So when I say brutal, I mean a couple different things. I mean, you don't get a hipfire reticle. You don't get a bullet count. In fact, when it comes to reloading, if you empty your magazine, it doesn't automatically reload. You're going to get a nice little clicking sound. And when it comes to the damage module, it's as if you're permanently stuck in hardcore mode. Ready? Get shot, motherfucker! One shot with the M14 pretty much puts anybody down, which is pretty realistic. But then again, it happens to you too. In fact, you don't even get any hit markers. And in this particular game, there wasn't a kill feed. So you didn't even know when you killed somebody or not. You just had to pay attention. It's brutal, man. But it's also a lot of fun. Now the game currently is in its alpha stage, but you can pay to be a part of the alpha. It's only $14.99 I think at this point, so it's a pretty cheap game. And to kind of see where it's coming from, this used to be a Half-Life 2 mod. They called it a total conversion for Half-Life 2, and it was called Insurgency Modern Infantry Combat. So they're looking to make their own standalone version of it and make improvements that they couldn't do within Half-Life 2. But it is still using the Valve source engine. And one of the staples of the source engine is its performance. I mean, this thing can just run on anything, which is great. But if you ask me, I don't even know where that came from. If you ask me, the source engine is reaching the end of its lifespan as far as its looks, as far as its graphics. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the graphics here look great, but it's going to be nothing like Battlefield 3. It's going to be, you know, nothing like some of the stuff that we're going to see on the next-gen consoles. It's just, the engine just isn't there in that capacity. But as far as performance, as far as playability, and the smoothness of it, and the feel of it, it's going to feel great. I love that. Just one shot, knocked him right out. Gotta love those one-shot, one-kill capacities with the battle rifles, and I just died. But everybody knows how much I love the M14 and that grand action. Have I mentioned it before? I think it goes without saying. But I think the developers also know the limitations that they have with the source engine, and that's why they're focused. Like their marketing of this game has always been its gameplay, what it has to offer. And that does worry me a little bit about this title, because it is still only an alpha, but it's completely open to the public. So, in most people's perspective, it's a release. I mean, when you do something like this and the game isn't finished, you can only go so far to save face with the people who play it by saying it's an alpha. You know, let's be realistic. Not many people care that it's an alpha. They're going to play it, and if they don't like it, they're not going to play it again. So they put themselves in danger by putting this thing in an open alpha, which, you know what, they probably needed funding. They wanted to get people involved, so that's one way to do it. And I'm glad that they're only charging $14.99 for the game. They realize that they're not going to compete with the major titles, and that's good. That is a good thing, because the other titles have hardcore mode. So what does this game really have to offer against, let's say, Call of Duty and Battlefield's hardcore mode? And that's what I think they need to work on. And one way they can do it, and they kind of have at this point, I'm going to bring it up in a second, but revolve the game modes around a hardcore setting. And there's one game mode that really stuck out to me that I had a lot of fun with that I think only really works in a hardcore environment. It's called Firefight. Now, Firefight, what it does is it makes a simple change to domination that completely changes your strategy of approaching the objectives. So that when you die, the only way that you can respawn is if your team captures one of the objectives. And it seems like a simple change, but watch how waiting to capture Charlie affected this game. Capture Charlie, gentlemen. Come on.
Capture.
Oh shit.
Shit, capture.
Just step on Charlie. Just step on Charlie and we win. Just step on it.
Everything relies on that. Go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Whew. Alright. Let's do this.
Charge. So there they were, steamrolling our team, just rolling right through us. But they let us cap one of our objectives and we get our entire team back. Whereas they have to capture one of these objectives to respawn their teammates that they lost. It's incredible how quickly a game can turn around.
Don't let them cap Bravo.
Oh, yeah, buddy!
On the left.
Do not cap Charlie. That was their saving grace, as they capped Alpha and got it. So don't cap Charlie. Let's just cap Bravo here.
Whoa!
If you die on the way to Bravo, do not worry. We will bring you back. Good job, gentlemen. So yes, the game is brutal. The game is hard. It'll piss you off like nothing else when you first start playing it. But as you start to get used to it, it starts to become less painful and much more rewarding. So that you're no longer clutching your chest and reaching to the sky. You're more sitting on the edge of your seat and giving yourself a little pat on the back every time you get a kill. You know, God willing, get a double kill. It's difficult, but it's rewarding. And that's one of the things that I think may be this game's saving grace. And I think they know that. They cater to the hardcore crowd. And the firefight game mode that they have, I think they know is a winner. It's simple. You know, another game has probably done it in some way, shape, or form. But when you combine it with the hardcore aspects of this game, I think it's a lot of fun, it's something different, and it's worth the price of admission. Now, they still have a lot of work to do. And it's obvious. There are some bugs, some of them pretty funny. Oh, he got fucked up. Is he? Is he hanging from the roof?
No, no!
He shot him and hung him on the roof.
And the game arguably needs more content. The current choices with your weapons are pretty damn simple. I mean, you have your battle rifles, you have your assault rifle, you have your carbine, and you have your SMG. And like that's the extent of it. There's no LMGs, there are no options between those different types of weapons, and you have your insurgent weapons and you have your security weapons. Mainly it comes down to you having US weapons versus Russian weapons. So instead of having the M14 on the insurgents, you have the SKS. Instead of having the MP5 when you're security, you have the MP40 when you're insurgents. You know, it's pretty much the same thing. And while I do like their choices, I mean, a lot of them are the favorites, you know, the ones that people really like to see, the basics that you'd like to see in a game. I'd really like to see some variation. I mean, maybe that's just coming from me, and we all know I'm a weapons kind of guy. I want to see, you know, an authentic representation of the weapon to a certain extent. But I also like to see a variation in the weapons, you know, give me 3 different types of carbines, give me 3 different types of battle rifles, you know, give me options, and make there be some real differences between them. And right now, I know it's just an alpha, but right now that content just isn't there. I think they have the plans to put that in place, but it's just not there right now. And as far as the customization with the weapons, it's you know, I think it could use some work as well. It's also very brutal. They don't explain exactly what each attachment is doing in the game, and once you spend the supply points on your particular attachments, you know, that's it. You don't get to go back and like redo it. You have to wait until you have more supply points. And that's another thing that people are bugged about with this particular game, is that there's no progression. You know, the weapons are there. You can put the attachments on them. There is no leveling up and using bigger and better weapons or getting access to something that a beginner player doesn't, which is good and bad at the same time. When it comes right down to it, most people want that. They want to feel like their time in the game is progressing them towards something bigger and better, or that their time in the game just generally means something, even if it's just in the form of a meaningless rank number. And that may change, you know, I just don't know. It is an alpha. The best I can do is present this to you guys, show you where you can go download it, which, you know, if you look in the link in the description, you can definitely go do that. Get involved and give them your feedback so they can make a better game. That's all we can do at this point, and they do have something that's worth playing, especially at $14.99. It's not bad. When you think about it, that's how much it would cost you to go see a movie. A movie is 2 hours of entertainment. This definitely has lasted me longer than 2 hours. So, mission accomplished on their end. I'm happy with the purchase, and that's why I'm recommending it to you guys. I hope you enjoy it. If you have played it, let me know what you think in the comment section, what you think they could do better, and what they have done well that you really appreciated about the game. But that's all I have for this video. This is Sergeant Merrill, out here.